Board Game Homies. We're a group of friends, play, review, and share about all things board games. Sitting around the table today are
Reed, Becky,
Gillian,
and I'm Angela. Today we're discussing our top 5-ish favorite trick takers of the year, aka 2025, a year where decks of cards made us terribly broke. This list looks at trick takers old and new, and which ones gave us the most joy. To make this list, everyone sent me their top 5 games, and I assigned them points, giving them bonus points if they were on multiple lists. Fun facts about our list today. There were 11 games that appeared on our big list. The oldest game was from 2010, and while I played 93 new-to-me games, 24 of them were trick takers. So, starting us out at number 6, Losing on a Tiebreaker. This small box game, set collecting, everything fun as we yelled around the table. Number 6, Panda Panda.
I love Panda Panda so much, and I want to know what the tiebreaker was.
The tiebreakers are based off of points that you get for appearing on multiple lists. And it's off of 2 different systems. So first we generate points based on where they fall in everyone's specific list. But last year this meant if a game was somebody's number 1 and appeared on no list, it artificially bumped up higher. So then I created multiple scoring systems to create tiebreakers. And this one truly did have a tiebreaker that pushed it to the end. But I didn't want to let go of Panda Panda. Maybe because it appeared on my list and I was selfish.
It's Panda Panda Cat Poker.
yes. Because we've only played Panda Panda once, but we played Cat Poker a lot more.
But when we play Cat Poker, we say Panda Panda every time, thanks to Cardboard J of Cardboard East.
Panda Panda is a good time. I enjoy it. How many people's lists did it end up on?
It only ended up on 2. And the fun thing about Panda Panda, this list is really trick takers, climbing, shedding games, and small box Japanese games. Because this game is set collection, but we put it in the small box Japanese selection. So it made both Becky and my list.
It checks out.
I love how accessible this game is. It came to us the first time as Cat Poker, which was in one of those exciting, like, oh, this is a difficult to get game. And then I got a copy of it for one of my friends off the All Play site. I think it's Panda Pandas through All Play now.
Yep.
Coming in at number 5, a game about tricks and pigs. It is 12 Chip Trick at number 5.
Okay, this has to be artificially lowered by your scheming.
Gillian,
I feel like it's on 3 out of 4 of our lists.
It was not.
Becky!
Okay, it's my number 6. I had such a hard time picking 5. I have big feelings about it as well. It's on my list. Look, it's right
No,
here.
it didn't make it in your
says
top 5
6.
though. No,
I just-
no, it
Also,
doesn't
to
count.
give Becky some grace, it ended up at the bottom of both of your lists. It wasn't
I mean, it was still in our
necessarily-
top 5 though.
Mm-hmm. Well, only 11 games made the big list. So we were a lot of consensus about the 11 games we enjoyed.
Except for that one.
12 Chip Trick is a lot of fun. I enjoy it quite a bit. I wasn't sure what to expect. You're basically playing tricks with chips or poker chips
yeah.
that have numbers on them. And so it's just a really fascinating system that I really enjoyed, and it broke Reed's brain. And I feel like that's where we really got a lot of the joy out of it the first time we played. And I feel like that nostalgia has really kept it going for me.
Interestingly enough, it was somebody who did not select it for their top 5 list. It was that person's joy game on our last podcast where we talked about it and talked about how much you loved it, Becky. I do love it, and I really love the games above it as well.
Well, we'll see what games you chose, but I wonder if any of those were your joy games.
Well, number 4 is going to surprise you. And in fact, as much hate as you guys just gave Becky, the reason that 12 Chip Trick did not make higher is actually due to Reed, and in this next spot, number 4, squeezing in at the last minute, the half-yard line of the American football team, thanks to a charity game meetup released at Tokyo Game Market and impossible to find. That is The Magic Shop.
How in the heck did that make it number 4? I've never even played that game.
Oh, Angela, was that on your list?
It definitely was.
A game that you only played once?
I know. And in fact, it made it to the bottom of my list. It made it higher on someone else's list.
That's me.
With one play?
I believe that we have played a lot of trick takers, and there are some things about what we're putting in front of us that are similar and some things that are different. And I loved what was different about the Magic Shop.
The Magic Shop is a must-follow trick-taking game. Included in the box, which is a DVD case, is a music CD. And every time you win a trick, depending on the colors in the trick, will allow you to pick an action. If you pick an action that's different than your own card, you have to take a thirst token. And so it's got jewels in it. And so you're constantly debating whether you want to move Trump around, make it a different color, if you want to change your bidding card, which I thought was so fun. I really liked the creativeness of this game.
In this game, what was so fantastic is that you could, it was a little bit like Rebel Princess in the event cards where you would play a normal thing and then it would just twist out of nowhere. I had enough to have this Trump suit, and I was like, this is going to be Trump suit. I'm going to win all of these tricks. And then someone was able to change what the Trump suit was. And so that meant that all of my hand was completely obsolete. And I loved that ability to be, oh, I'm not smarter than you. I need to be a couple steps ahead in a different way.
Gillian, I'm very excited for you to play this game. I think you are also going to love it. And Angela, I cannot wait to bring this up, being on your top 5 list when we talk about our top plays or top new to us games in our next episode.
Yeah, this was really hard. I went back and forth for a really, really long time about putting this game on my list or putting 7 Prophecies on the list. And even this morning, I was regretting my decision and didn't want to redo the math. It did hit number 5, but I was reflecting on 7 Prophecies a lot. And that's a game that I enjoyed because you have to bid on the number of times you'll come in and win the trick second or the number of times you'll win the trick third. And I really liked that mechanic. But something about Magic Shop I couldn't get out of my head. Also, I don't know that we'll ever be able to play it again unless we hang out with the human who introduced it to us, because it doesn't even have a rating on BGG because it only has like 5 comments. It has nothing on it. So good luck on even us trying to find a copy of this game.
I feel like you just challenged Gillian to buy this game.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, but wait until you play it.
No. She just said I'm not going to get to play it, so.
Number 3, a true tie, even after multiple tiebreakers. So there's nothing I can do but share the victory for 2 very different trick takers. So number 3, in no particular order, because there's 2 of them, is the oldest game on our list, coming in at 2010. It is Haggis.
Yes! That's all I have to say. I'm so excited.
Haggis only made 2 out of the 4 lists.
I'm guessing it's Becky and me.
That is correct.
Yep. I love Haggis. It is probably the most complicated shedding game I've ever played, in terms of just complexity and rules overhead, because there's bombs. And I feel like this is the first game that really introduced me to bombs. And it's so fascinating trying to outmaneuver your opponents while you still have the cards necessary to throw a bomb out there and win you are shedding, right? It's a shedding game.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
shedding.
so you throw out the bomb there to try to win the opportunity to go first in the subsequent round. And I just found that so fascinating. It is fairly long for a shedding game. In a 3-player game, I think it's like an hour long is kind of what it ended up taking us. And what I really appreciate about it is it plays 2, 3, and 4 players. But the caveat to that is each of them play differently. Becky and I haven't played the 2-player version yet, but we played it at 3 and 4. And I feel like each time we have to dive into it, we have to remember which is which in terms of rules. But the 4-player game is a kind of cooperative game where you're paired with another player and you're trying to shut out.
I actually think it's perfect that it's on a tie, where it's just they have to share the victory, because Haggis I had as my number 4, but I would say my top 4, I could not decide how to put them in an order. I finally did, but I put them in my BG or Pub Meeple ranking, and I put all 4 of them, and as soon as 2 of them were next to each other, I was like, I don't know. I can't pick one, so I'm happy. I'm pleased.
I really do like haggis as well. And exactly what Gillian said, this had been sitting on my shelf for quite a while because the rules overhead was something that I, for some reason, couldn't grasp. And there's not a lot of good how to play trick taking videos out in the world. And I think the only thing that kept it back is that when I think about playing haggis, I think about having to relearn and reread, and that knocks it just a little bit. I think the gameplay is much crunchier than other things, obviously, than Panda Panda, but sometimes that little bit of a hurdle makes me kind of be like, ugh. And I think if we played Trick Takers, not more often, but we have so many that we're constantly rotating through that hurdle keeps it from coming to the table more often.
We recently played Haggis at 3-player, Becky, Gillian, and me, and we played the Grok Brazilian version. I absolutely love the artwork so much on that. The cards were a little like swishy. It sounded like a windbreaker or something as you were playing with them, but I loved it.
So what game was tied with haggis? And again, Becky's fault. These games landed at 4 and 2 and 4 and 2 on other people's lists. And that is the beloved Snipe 13.
Oh, thank goodness. Hopefully I know what number 1 is. Anyways.
Trick and Snipers are second, perfectly tied. Absolutely no tiebreakers. Number 3 game is Trick and Snipers.
It's so good. The artwork is incredible, and it is very fun to play. Also, Reed's brain breaks sometimes, and I enjoy that too.
It was an honorable mention on my list. It did not make the top 5.
It didn't make the top 5 in mine either.
Again, another Mob Plus game with gold foil cards, with great art by Sai Beppu. It's, I don't know, there's just something fun and easy about the game. And again, like I said, with Haggis, I can open up Snipe 13, and while it has a little bit of a rules overhead, once you get it, and you kind of are like, oh yeah, after a minute or two, I got it, it's fine. But I love that these two complete opposite games tied for our number 3. Again, this is a list of more than 5.
Technically, they tied for number 2.
That's not how Angela does math.
That's not how math works. But the number 2 game appearing on 3 of our 4 lists with slightly wider availability this year, it is the fan favorite Nukosu Dice.
Wait, did you say it's number 2?
It's number 2.
Oh, okay. I guess it didn't tie for number 2 last time. Sorry.
Nope,
I
it
misheard
did not.
you.
This was literally number 2. I was like, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to math.
No, I thought you said 2 and 3 were tied. So anyway, yeah. No, Cozy Dice is great. I like it a lot. This is the crunchiest trick taker, kind of similar to Haggis. It's the crunchiest trick taker I've played. But what's so fascinating is how you have dice in front of you that are also part of your hand, but then you have to play all but one of your dice in front of you as part of a trick as the game progresses. And whatever number of pips are left on your remaining die is your bid for the round. So if you're left with a 3 pip die, that's going to say you've won 3 tricks this round. And so trying to play through the tricks, balancing the colors and everything in your hand is just such a crunchy puzzle for a trick-taking game. I loved it a lot.
I love it. It frustrates me to no end, and I think I have to just be smarter, and I've adapted my playstyle to this. Being forced to use the dice that I've been thinking about the entire game to be my bid dice, and actually trying to race to use my dice so I am forced to keep this one dice. The minute you use that bid dice, you are like, I have chosen poorly, because now I only have 5s and 6s or a 1 and you don't know what to do. Or being the last player and getting to decide what color trump is, because the last die remaining is the trump color and number, which I think breaks some brains because a number is a trump as well as the color. And so you're always like, wait, which one is higher? And thankfully there's a little card that's like, you are not dumb, but it is the number that is higher than the color.
Also, Sai Beppu art.
Wow, this is just a Sai Beppu love letter.
I love Nukosu Dice. We just played it relatively recently, and that puzzle and frustration of having to predict your bid is one thing, but then, as Angela mentioned, you can be forced to play what you think it is, and that twist makes you think about what you're doing in a different level, and I love it.
I really enjoy that tension. Most of that tension is in my brain happening of how can I keep enough of that color that I need that die for so I can play out of my hand if somebody else does it, or have enough control that I don't have to play that. It's fun.
I love that in the beginning when you're drafting the dice, there is this hope that the ones that you take, the colors that you take and the numbers that you take are going to be trump. And there's a huge decision-making factor that the last couple of people have because they get to control what is trump by what is left remaining on the board. And I think that that is this incredible, fun tension that's there too.
Yeah, and there's a dichotomy that happens there where you're thinking about, oh, there's a lot of blue dice. If I don't take blue dice, it'll almost forcibly be at the end. And so that maybe somebody will have to take it. But then I have less blue dice, but maybe I have a lot of blue cards in my hand. So that back and forth is just tickles a part of my brain that I love.
Yeah, that consideration there really messed me up, I think, in our very first game we played, because I didn't even consider that, oh, I have one red card in my hand and I have one red die. Oh, I played it early on from my hand, and then next thing I know, somebody played a red card to start a trick. And then I was forced to play my 2-pip red die, and then I was stuck with a bunch of high-numbered dice. And so, yeah, I learned my lesson after that.
I can't think of another game that has that much play between the dice and the cards in that way, and I think it's really fun. It does remind me of Twinkle Starship a little bit, where you have to know your bids based on the little matchstick wood pieces that you have, and that is so interesting to have a dynamic bid that might change as you go.
Now, one of the homies at this table had 4 out of the 5 top games on their list. Let me tell you, it was not me. That homie is Becky. Becky, our number 1, the clear favorite from all of the homies, the hands down, cream of the crop. Becky, what was the number 1 game?
Yokai Septet.
Yokai Septet.
Yokai Septet.
Only making 3 of our 4 lists.
Angela!
This is new to you games, and I played this game before you guys did. It was ineligible to make my list,
Oh,
unfortunately.
how does that feel? That happened to us, Becky and me, last year a lot.
It made me feel great that I was like, this game is really wonderful, and I played it before all y'all suckers.
But you did forget that you played it and didn't tell us that you played it.
Yeah, I was like, why do these cards look familiar? Why does this game look familiar? This seems weird. Oh, yeah, I played this game, and I won, too.
Well, not alone.
Well, no, definitely. Guys, why did this make your top list?
This introduced me, I think, to the first cooperative trick taker in a way, in that you're teamed up with somebody and you're trying to essentially win the game together. And so that's the first time I've really played a game like that, or I should say a trick taker like that. And the art is fantastic. The production by Ninja Star Games is fantastic. The 7s, which are very crucial in the game, they're the boss yokai, which are what you're trying to collect as you are playing tricks. And those are foil. And so it's just the whole thing. The production, the gameplay, the consideration is fairly thinky as well. And just trying to read your opponents, but also your teammate is fascinating and difficult at the same time.
I am shocked that it still made Gillian's list, even though I have been the faulty partner in this, and we never win. Have we won?
We won once or twice the last series we played.
That makes me feel better.
Reed, I think you are trying to take too much blame because Angela and I are just really good partners at card games. I mean, it's not you. It's
that doesn't
us.
make me feel better.
Yeah, it's not that you're bad. We're just really, really good.
Exactly.
I don't know if that's true.
I do.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, I feel like we need to
Yep.
team up to
I know,
play
that's
4-player
true.
cribbage. Come on.
Yeah,
Reed
let's
and
do
I.
that. Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
I've never
I'm
played
in.
cribbage. I don't know.
Angela, we've got this.
You're that good that you can carry Angela
No,
too.
I wouldn't say that, but I just believe in Angela.
Angela would just luck into everything. That's
It's
what
true.
would
Look at her
happen.
face.
I would be like, la, 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 la.
Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. Yokai Septet it's a lot of fun. Like, I think one of the reasons why it was my top game is just thinking about the joy we had around the table as well, with especially Gillian and Reed passing each other the exact same cards and complaining every time about that because you're usually trying to short suit yourself so you can snag those sevens with different with the trumps and different things, but it's just really joyful. And the cards are so shiny. Love a shiny card.
Also, when we were playing Just One, Gillian and I were writing the same thing. So maybe there's something there that we need to, as we mentioned last week in our last couple weeks in our Joy games, maybe we need to switch it up a little bit.
You two Leos.
True.
Yep.
Angela, what was your number one?
Rebel Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that game.
I almost put that on my list, but I don't know why. I felt like I thought I maybe played it before, like we were
Yeah,
making
this
list.
is the perfect time actually to get into what games maybe made your list. Rebel Princess appeared on none of your lists, and I kept going like, oh, did it even come out in the right? Did we play it beforehand? It was one of those mid-December games, so
Yeah.
it's still qualified because we hadn't done a best of kind of list, and so we said December was kind of fine. But man, I really like that game. So that was probably one that didn't make everybody's list.
No, I really enjoy it as well. And in retrospect, I would have added it to my list. Yeah.
Top 5 was very hard for me in this because I really missed a lot of games that I thought Skull King was new to us, that I thought would be, on there. And there were other games too that I really liked.
Gillian, you had a game that didn't make the list. I was hoping you could talk about it.
Yeah, that's Ptolemy. It is a 2-player only shedding game, which is why it didn't make the list. You and Reed hadn't played it. Becky and I played it, I think just once or twice. And so I gave you guff for including something that you only played once. Yet I only played Ptolemy once no, we played twice. And I don't know, that game was just so fascinating to me. The whole concept is you are playing, essentially, there are 3 suits in the game that represent kind of different planets, or actually more than 3, but you're playing planets as your suit. They have no numbers, but what you're trying to do is, in a round, you can't duplicate what's already been played. So you're forced to play something that hasn't been played yet, so it's a must not follow. And when you play it, actually, it does have numbers, I believe. Man, it's been a while since I played it, so I'm messing up the rules here. But you play a card, and then you advance that planet along the zenith, essentially, and go along this track. And if it ends higher than something else, the next player has to play a card that would move something farther beyond whatever you had just played, or whatever has been played so far, so that ends up at the highest kind of zenith. And I just thought that, like, circuit was a very interesting thing to play around and try to gauge kind of how to move the planets in order to continue to play and shut out. And so, yeah, I really thought it was fascinating. I thought the art was fantastic in it as well.
I also really enjoyed that game, and I considered it for my top 5. We really need to have like a 2-player game day, maybe a 2-player trick-taking game day in Trick-Takuary.
Oh, I just want to correct. Technically it's a climbing game, not necessarily shedding. So you're trying to like climb up and get your planets up there, so you prevent your opponent from playing cards. Climbing shedding game.
This designer, I played this at the Portland Game Collective 2 years ago when I played Yokai Septet, and they did a game I'm gonna not pronounce correctly, Hipparchus.
Hipparchus.
Hipparchus. That game broke my brain. I hadn't played many trick takers to that point. It was weird. It was off the wall. And I was like, whoa, what the heck is this? And it's also the designer of Jekyll versus Hyde, Odyssey, Orbita. So they make some really interesting trick taking games. So I do want to play this one, but I'm afraid my brain is too soft.
Yeah, Gunnell, the designer, has made a lot of. He ended up becoming very well known as the two-player trick taker designer. Essentially, saw a void in two-player trick taking games, decided to fill that void, and made a lot of really interesting two-player trick taking games, of which Angela already kind of mentioned. But now he's starting to branch off into more than two-player trick taking games, and Odyssey is one that I mentioned as a joy game that I had that we have yet to get to the table. But that's another. That's a 3 to 4 player trick taking game.
Angela, I just talked you up as my trick taking partner. You can't say your brain's too soft for this game.
Well, Becky, you've made choices.
See, Becky, you just carry Angela in Yokai Septa.
That's
what
not
you
true.
do.
I feel like I take her down, so.
Reed, there was one game on your list that did not make the top 7. I think it was really what this list is. That game was RoboTrick.
I love RoboTrick. It was so cute.
It's so great. It's a 3-player trick-taking game where the robot has a set of action programs where they decide what's coming out based on what the card is and what robot card it is. And I was like, oh, I love this game a lot. It's very hard to get to the table because, like, a lot of trick takers has a very specific player count. You have to play it out.
Is it only a 3-player?
Yeah, 3-player only.
Yeah, so you can't play lower. You would have to double hand if you decided to play it. It's just tough to get to the table. But the robot is so cute.
It is. And it's fun that it's basically a dummy player, but he has different algorithms that you follow based on what's been played. And it works. And I love it when a dummy player works because sometimes it's just so poorly executed. It's not worth playing for that number of players.
He know dummy Becky. He hella smart. And sometimes he wins.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. I'm going to turn it over to some rapid fire questions, just a few to talk about other mechanics and games and things that we thought about this year as we looked at trick taking. First up, trick takers have a very loose association with theme, but was there a theme that you loved this year in trick taking?
I'm going to say Trickerous was such a good theme because you flew up, got too close to the sun, needed to come back down, and you just knew where that threshold was before you got knocked down. And I think that played very well.
Yeah, that was also my answer to this question as well. Trickerous was very thematic compared to most we played.
The question that I answered, you had written a little bit differently, so it's not one that I necessarily liked, but I thought that fishing actually did a really good job with the theme and the gameplay put together because you are catching different fish in your net and then you have to use those, which is incredibly annoying when you're bad at it like me. But I thought, like, in terms of theme and then the gameplay matching that theme, I thought it did a really good job.
It's funny that you mentioned that because that was my second one that I had mentioned as fishing as the theme that tied with gameplay.
I'm surprised it didn't end up on our top list because the three of you really liked it.
Yeah,
But
that game was really hot to start the year, and then we just played a bunch of other ones, and I felt like other ones stood out more.
Somebody thought it was a little meh.
Yeah.
that was me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was.
It wasn't going to make her list, that's
No,
for sure.
I thought it was going to be on the three of yours list.
I think 5 games when we have played so many different small box trick taker type games was very hard for me.
Yeah, 5 was a very tight line. My best theme was my number 1, which was Rebel Princess. I think anytime I explain the theme of, like, you're a fierce, badass princess and you don't need no man and they're going to break in. And even, like, Trump, you can't use, sorry, not Trump, but you can't play a prince card until they break into the ball is always this fun point of, like, you don't want them there. But once they're there, they keep sneaking in, and how the frog prince is the worst. I was like, he's a non-consensual frog prince who's just sneaking up trying to kiss girls, and we don't like him.
Okay, this is a great point. I'm on board with your
Right,
answer.
thank you. Okay.
That was on one of my best themes as well.
Yeah, it's great. All right, next question, best art.
We did pick a lot of Saibepu games. I am also going to say Rebel Princess.
Ooh.
Oh,
Has some of the
interesting.
best art.
I honestly, like I mentioned it, but Ptolemy, I really enjoyed the art there. It's just minimalist, but it resonates with me. I love astronomy, and just the art that was done for the planets and everything just really got me.
I'm going to go for Torchlit, which was on my top 5 list and apparently nobody else's, which is fine. But the little ghosts and the goblins, they're so precious and I love them so much. And the contrast is great. They're just so cute.
Well, Becky, it might have been on my list if we played it more than once.
Ah!
I really thought about Cult in this, but then we were really struggling with the migraine-inducing card backs or fronts. I don't remember. It was a little hard to look at, but I did love the illustrations. They did have a similar vibe as, I would say, the Grok Haggis as far as like kind of just simple drawings, and I thought that that also had really great art.
Yeah, Colt was going to be on my list, and I had to think about it. And instead, I went with a Saibepu game. Of course, I did. And it is no surprise that my favorite art here is Oh Meow Bow.
Cute.
That's not Saibepu.
That is the biggest shock.
This is
of this
scandalous.
episode.
This is scandalous.
I was like, it's because she did 535, and so she came up.
she didn't
No,
do
but she didn't do Oh Meow Bow. But she did 357, which is the
535.
five. Yeah, you know, whatever that one is. Okay, that one is cute, but no, it goes to Oh Meow Bow because there's poop tokens.
Not the dogs, not the cats. It's just about the poop tokens.
There are some really cute cats in there.
There are, and they poop.
Angela, you're the best.
I love
and
that game.
The worst.
All right, what's an interesting mechanic that you liked this year?
The Nokosu dice mechanism of having dice as part of your hand and the remaining one being your bid for the round.
I'm over here nodding my head. I also wrote that down. I really like that some of the information is public and some of it is secret, and it depends on how each player plays for how long you have public information. I also really like 12 chip trick and the way that you play the chips and you get the chips back and you either score them or they're in your hand and you still end up scoring them at the end. I like it a lot.
I loved both of those games and thought that that play was really fun. I'm going to say that my favorite mechanism or experience was playing Skull King at 2 players, where you brought out the dummy player Greybeard. And Angela and I had a play of that where it was just this like twist and turn that really changed how our tricks interacted with or our cards interacted with each other. And I thought that was a really fun time for a 2-player trick taker.
I love Skull King. It almost made my list, and I don't know why it didn't, but again, 5 is hard, but I really like Skull King. My game is Twinkle Starship. I liked the ability to use those little pieces of wood to change the card numbers back and forth, and yet the number of wooden pieces you have left is your bid. So you're constantly trying to, like, you're vacillating always behind, is this my bid number? But I also need to win a trick, but I need to use this. And so I liked it a lot, and the component was, it's just a bunch of sticks and an alarm clock theme.
That was really fun how at the end you end up making your numbers as many different numbers as you can to use up your matchstick things so that your bid is lower. And I thought that that was a fun, how are you going to do this?
Yeah, certainly when you have a 1 and you have way too many wooden
Like
sticks.
that one is a 3.
That's a 0 now. Ooh, girl.
That's even
Or it's an
better.
8.
That's true.
Yeah, there you go. All right, mine is pretty easy, but I ask it to all of you. What game did you not vibe with?
Cult. Largely for the reason that Reed said is like I felt like it was headache inducing. The art was just not great for me. So much so that it distracted. I don't even remember how the game played. It was like the art was too distracting for me.
I have 2, fishing and dog poker.
Oh, collective dog poker. Boo.
How dare you? Llama Llama's way better.
Well, that's cat poker.
No, it's not.
Llama Llama is dog poker.
Oh.
They came out
We
with
haven't played that, though.
Yeah, we
No,
haven't
we
played
haven't
yet.
That's not going to be any different. It's
same game.
it's llama
But what if
themed.
it's cuter?
Okay.
I don't know. No, I think we played that game once, and I was just like, "Wah!" Maybe we played it
Well,
twice.
I think we went into it expecting it to be more like cat poker, and it was way different. It wasn't similar in that way.
Hey, man, one day we'll get mole poker played. There are 3 of them in the poker series.
Is it better than dog poker?
Nothing is better than dog poker, except cat poker.
I don't even know what poker we're talking about right
Panda poker.
Well, we're definitely not
now.
talking
Saying
about.
llama llama is really fun.
That's true, but I think we need to boo now.
No.
Wow, none of you booed.
I booed earlier.
You didn't even boo yourself.
Well, I was
okay?
waiting. I thought we were gonna.
Oh,
do it
so you're a
together.
follower, not a leader, huh?
Obviously, my booing game is 12 Chip Trick, which is awkward because it made
How dare
your guys'
you.
list. It didn't hit as hard for me as it hit for the rest
Okay,
of
it
you.
plays better 3 anyway. Angela, you're jettisoned.
I mean, not wrong. I mean, what I've never won that game and or scored a point. And also, the only way Reed wins is on
Is by-
accident by scoring way too many points. So she loses so hard she wins.
We love that for her.
Yeah, good point.
It's a strategy.
Okay. I have a what game didn't hit it for me. Corgi Pileup.
I almost put that for myself
Yeah.
too. I that's one that I love the art, but the gameplay was so basic.
Controversial opinion for our next podcast and a teaser. Corgi Pileup is a game I loved more than my friends liked. I liked Corgi Pileup more than all of you. I was like, this game is great. It is basic, but I liked it a lot.
I mean, it's really adorable, but I wanted more from it for sure.
Yep.
Such high expectations when a game has corgis.
They don't represent tricolors. It's a problem.
That's true. Tricolored corgis, least represented corgis.
Malcolm needs to be represented.
Let's close this pot out with one new trick taker you are definitely getting to the table in 2026.
What if I pick 2?
Well, then that's 2 times we have to hold you accountable, Becky.
Okay, Stella Quest, which is a game I got for my birthday, and also Bottle Imp. I feel like we've been looking at that game for a year.
Yeah, it's on has been on Angela's shelf for a while, and then I ended up buying it too.
And Bottle Imp is the game on my list. So now that it's on 2 of our lists, we are definitely getting Bottle Imp
We
played,
have
Becky.
to.
I am excited for Trick of the Rails. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
that much about it, but it was a birthday gift, and I started doing some video watching of it. And I also agree that there aren't a lot of great trick-taking video rules things, so I'm just going to wait until Gillian learns it and then can teach it to me.
And then puts it on YouTube for everyone else.
please.
Somebody needs to start a YouTube channel. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, yes. New Year's resolution. Maybe.
That's not this episode, not yet.
The game I have on my list is one that I bought a while back and just haven't forced you guys to play, and that's Jiraku. It's a game that people often comment about when they talk about like one of their favorite trick-taking games, and it's one that blends trick-taking and area control. So when you win tricks, it allows you to place troops out onto a map, and you're trying to control regions of Japan, essentially.
Gillian, I just bought this game. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, so now I'm going to put it on my list of we are definitely getting it played.
Oh, okay.
I would like to just add something. I'm surprised that no one said anything about Jungo.
That is on my honorable mentions, and it's also the best game to bring to the pub that I listed, was Jungo.
That's a great game. Again, 5 is way too hard. Next year, if we go this hard on trick takers, we got to do a top 10.
Angela, I begged you for a top 10, and you said, no, it's 5.
Yeah.
And I sent you 9.
Well, I only took 5, Reed.
Yeah, you took yours. Wait, no, that was you that had honorable mention at 6.
I put honorable mentions.
That's
I-
great. I didn't count them.
Yeah, I didn't tell Angela my number 6.
Which one did you say was at 6? Is that 12 Chip Trick?
Yeah.
Oh.
So close, but so far away. Well, there's always next year. Thank you for listening to Board Game Homies, where we love a trick or a treat. Drop us a line on Blue Sky, Instagram, or Board Game Geek. Bye-bye.
We also like climbing.
But not shedding.
Oh.
Hmm.